Speaker.
Scott Simpson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. In rising to speak in support of the second reading of the bill, I'm very conscious that I am the first non-Cantabrian to speak in the second reading debate. And, Sir, as Chairman of the Select Committee that considered this bill, which has formed a cornerstone of a suite of legislation, in fact, relating to Canterbury, Christchurch and the aftermath of the earthquakes that occurred 5 years ago, it's been a bit of a learning curve and something that I've found as I say, as a non-Cantabrian, a really interesting insight into the experiences, to the tragedy, to the heartache, to the physical and emotional roller coaster that the people of Christchurch and Canterbury have undergone since those earthquakes back in 2010. So the Select Committee met in Christchurch for 2.5 days following the House rising for the Christmas break. And we travelled to Christchurch and we heard a range of wonderful submissions from 56 organisations and individuals, people who brought to the Select Committee their experiences, their hopes for the future and their plans for their city and their region. And, Sir, we were very privileged, I think, to hear those submissions. We heard them actually in the council chamber of the Christchurch City, and we heard from such a wide range of people, from individuals through to the very big and important project leaders and organisations that have been taking the city and the people of Christchurch from that phase that was initially emergency through to recovery and now looking forward to the future and to regeneration, where the eyes of the city and the country indeed are upon what is happening in Christchurch now and what will happen in the future. So since 2010, as a government and as a parliament, we've committed $16.5 billion to the initial response. So the state has a very significant role to play in that future direction. And this bill, Sir, continues the historically strong support that this Parliament has provided to the people of Canterbury and Christchurch since the earthquake. Sir, other speakers have made a reference to and acknowledged the very good work that has occurred since the Select Committee reported back. And I too want to add my endorsement to that work led by the Minister, the Honourable Jerry Brownlee, and those other members from across the House who have individually met on a number of occasions with the Minister to work through some of the detail and some of the difficulties that we as a Select Committee were not able to resolve before report back. And, Sir, I'm delighted that as the committee moved its report back to this Parliament, we were of a mood to say that work still needed to be done. We knew that that needed to occur, and we knew and hoped, I guess, that that work would be done. And so, Sir, I want to place on record my thanks as Chairman of the Select Committee to those people who have, on behalf of their city and their region and their parties and this Parliament and the people of New Zealand, made that a reality. And that's a great credit to them as individuals, but it's also a great credit to their parties and to the people that they represent. Sir, I'm not intending to go into the detail of this bill at this stage because there will be opportunity as we come together to consider as a committee of a whole, as the House of a committee as a whole, during the supplementary order paper process that has been indicated that the Minister will be leading us through. But the supplementary order paper will include a number of changes. One will be to ensure that there is more public input into the regeneration planning process itself. Sir, I think that's a very good advancement. The second major point that the SOP will cover will to give Regenerate Christchurch itself a greater role in the regeneration plans in the Christchurch district. As such, it'll also strengthen the leadership role of the Regenerate Christchurch overall, with more emphasis on public consultation around the use of Section 42, with the Minister required to take public submissions now into account. And, Sir, I think that's a good move as well. So, I want to just again conclude my comments in this second reading of the bill by thanking everybody that's been involved, thanking my colleagues on the Select Committee, thanking the officials from Sarah and our advisors for their good work, and endorsing this second reading, the bill, to the House.